Hi, I'm Jim Hodgson, and this is me making a totally independent feature length documentary film about wine without being an expert in wine or film. What could possibly? So, I had my first day of shooting, and I'm just positively thrilled with the results. I also had a planned second day of shooting, which I absolutely bungled, and I'll get into that in a sec. The goal of this video is just to talk about what it took to get to and through that first shoot. This is going to get a little bit into the weeds with some sort of unsexy business type stuff, but if you're trying to do something like what I'm trying to do, you'll need to know this kind of thing. And of course, I will tell you how I soiled the sleeping area on shoot number 2. But first, let's get to the one that worked. I feel so lucky to have Katie Rice and Janine Jason agree to be interviewed for the first shoot that I did. They work at a place called Vinoteca, which is my wife and I's favorite wine place in town. And it's our favorite because they're so knowledgeable, but also so approachable. You know, like their vibe is so good. It's so clear when you talk to them that they know a lot, but also that their energy is welcoming you. You know, they're just so great to be around, and it's why we want to go there to their place and be near them. But also, I think for the purposes of my film, I think you're gonna feel that energy also. So I'm so glad that they agreed to be to be interviewed, and the first shoot day went absolutely great, largely thanks to them and how amazing they are. So, what did I have to do to get to that first day of shooting? Well, first of all, I needed a cinematographer. Now, I thought I thought long and hard about shooting this myself. I have shot a lot of stuff before, and I do kind of sort of know how it works, but also right there, I also know that it's like I know enough about it to know how much I don't know. And everybody knows if you get a Blackmagic camera, then your film will be accepted to Sundance. But like I said, I know just enough about cinematography to know what I don't know. And I want this project to be, I want it to be great, obviously. I want people to see this and want to see more of my work, you know, or hire me to do other things. So I can't really cut corners. And the difference between what I can do and what somebody who really knows what they're doing can do is large. Also, there's the factor of asking people to be interviewed to be in my film, which means they need to be able to trust that they will be presented as what they are, which is professionals, you know, people who've spent a lifetime gathering the knowledge that they have. I'm asking them to share their knowledge and themselves. So they need to feel relaxed that they're going to be presented very well. You know, and there's also the fact that I just like collaborating. I mean, I do think that you get another. I think there's a sort of a multiplicative effect of having more people around when you're trying to make a piece of art. You know, not to say that we don't love, you know, singer songwriters, like one person playing a song, but it's a very different experience when there's a whole band playing a song together. And you know, I'm interested in having a band like that. And I use the band reference because I did play, you know, in bands for a long time, which means that I have more experience with sound. So I'll be handling the sound recording. Um, and if I had the money to hire one more person, that's probably that would probably be my next go-to, is somebody to handle the sound. And later on in the project, there will be some days when I'm on camera, so I won't be able to do the sound myself, and I'll get somebody to help with the sound. But for now, for these interviews, I'm handling the sound recording. Anyway, so I went looking for DPs, directors of photography, who lived here near Atlanta and had interest in documentary filmmaking. And I found somebody who had a really great reel and just seemed like they'd done a lot of really cool work. His name was Caleb Corson. But then I said to myself, you know, I'm doing this all wrong. Let's not go for people whose work we like and ask them if they're potentially interested in my project. Let's tell the world about the project and see if anybody comes and is interested, and then go through those people's reels. It doesn't make sense to go. I don't know. I want to work with people who are excited about the project. And so I just decided I made a post on a site called Production Hub. no affiliation, but I made a post there and said, here's what I'm trying to do. Is anybody in the area interested in working on this? And lo and behold, one of the people who was interested in working on it was Caleb. And I'd already seen his reel, and I thought he was perfect for the job. So he's the guy. And now that we've worked together and done a day together, he got, absolutely great results. So that worked out. So now I had my crew. I already asked Katie and Janine if they would mind being part of the project. So all I needed was paperwork. So in terms of paperwork, each speaking person needs to sign a release. Actually, probably each person needs to sign a release, whether they're speaking or not, because they are able to reserve their image. So I needed releases for my 2 interviewees, and then I needed location releases. And I wanted to get location releases signed both for the business owner and for the person who actually owns the land where the business is. So that meant dealing with corporate sort of landowners. And I figured that those people would want me to have production insurance. So I went ahead and got production insurance before I even asked them, and I think, honestly, I think that worked out pretty well. Not only do I think they would have asked me to see it. In fact, people later on since then have asked me to see it. But I think it just shows, we kind of know what the game is, and we're kind of ahead of the game, sort of thing. I used a company called Thimble for my production insurance. Hopefully I never need it, obviously, but people just like, they like to know that you're covering your bases. Well, again, no affiliation with them. So, like I say, I hope to never need that coverage, but what else? It actually was easier than I thought it would be to get the releases signed, for that particular one. I just emailed folks asking if it would be okay, and they asked some questions, and then after a couple of days, they got it sorted out, and I got my releases. So once I had all of them releases signed, I scheduled a day when we could all be there, and we showed up. I got there an hour early before anybody else was supposed to be there, and set up across the street at a coffee shop just to be the first person there, but also to scout out parking for Caleb's truck, so we could unload all of his lighting and camera gear easily. That turned out to be a non-issue, but I just wanted to be the first person there and kind of make sure everything's cool. If the street happened to be blocked off or something like that, I would want to be the first person to know. I also got a photographer that I've worked with before to come and take photos over the course of the day, because, for marketing purposes, they're on the website and everything. And I used Dean Hess. I've worked with him before. He's really great. He does a lot of journalistic work for a friend of mine's newspaper. So I'd worked with him before, and I knew that he was good. But not only did I want sort of photos to show that we'd done what we did, but I also wanted some behind the scenes photos, so that the next person that I ask to be in the show can see the photos and can see what they're kind of agreeing to do, because it's like there's big lights and there's cameras everywhere, and it's a real thing. So I think that kind of, maybe that works for us, but also against us. And I think it works for us in the way that it's not just, we're not just a group of college kids holding our iPhones up. Not that I'm against that, by the way, or not that I'm above that, certainly. But there's a real amount of stuff here. Like we're trying to do a real thing with real stuff. And whether that means anything to people or not, I don't know. But maybe they see those photos and they think, okay, they're trying to really do it. Obviously the results are the real way that you see that we're trying to do a serious thing. So hopefully our results speak for us as well. But I did want some photos to show that what a production is kind of like. Again, I want people to know that if they're agreeing to be part of the project, they're agreeing to be part of a serious project. We're trying to be, we want to be lighthearted and we want to have a lot of fun, but I don't want people to think that it's a frivolous thing, because I take their knowledge seriously. That first day went really well, and we got great results, and I recut the trailer to add the new footage that we had. So we now have a trailer 2. Would love for you to go and watch it. Yeah, and it went great. And so I pretty much instantly started working on scheduling shoot number 2, and I totally bungled it. So here's how I screwed up this second shoot. basically it was kind of taking a while to get the location releases signed, which you know, which you have to expect because the people who are doing the signing maybe aren't the people that you have a relationship with, and their priorities are they're trying to run a business. They're not trying to work on your film, you know. So sometimes it takes a little while for them to come around to getting it done, which is completely understandable. So, but what happened was I did not have the location releases in my hand, and I had a date that's like every day this date is marching closer and closer, and I still don't have the releases, and I have people saying that they're coming, but until you have it in your hand, you know. So the mistake I made was just hoping that it would come through by agreeing to a day that's marching ever closer and hoping that the location release would come through before that day. But it didn't, and I got I got pretty close to that day, and it finally was so close that I had to be like, we can't. I'm gonna have to cancel everybody. Um, but you know, even then, I let it go so long. Again, this is all on me, but I let it go so long that even though I was canceling the day, people had already spent time and effort to get ready for the day. So like, you know, it takes time and effort to make sure batteries are charged and make sure you got all the, you know, the memory cards and stuff that you need for the next day. And so I just screwed up by hoping that it would happen until the point when I finally canceled, and it's like, well, I already got ready for this, you know, which, you know, the bird in the hand versus two in the bush. I was hoping that the bird in the bush would come and get in my hand, and it just didn't. I should have when it was a week away. I should have said, okay, guys, we don't have what we need. We're gonna have to kind of fly by it and try to do this again. But I didn't. It's on me. What can we do but learn to be better next time? But the moral of the story here is get your releases signed first and then schedule. Don't be like me. Anyway, those bungles aside, we're moving forward. I do still love this project very much. I think that it's going to be, I think when it's done, it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it being, I don't know. I feel weird because it's like, I really am looking forward to it being done, but I want to also remember to enjoy the doing of it, you know, otherwise what kind of life am I leading? You know, if I'm not, I don't know. I'm just trying to enjoy. And I do think we're going to get a good product. Everybody who sees the trailer seems to kind of get the vibe. It's like, it's lighthearted. We're trying to approach something that's serious, but have a little bit of fun with it, you know? And I think people are getting that. I don't have a lot of luck with gatekeepers understanding what I'm trying to do. So I'm not expecting any big breaks where that's concerned, but I have had good luck with people understanding what I like when people see what I've done, they usually seem to enjoy it. So we're just going to have to take it to the people. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks for being interested. Like, comment, subscribe, do all those kind of things. If you have any interesting wines lying around your house, send them to me. But like I say, thanks for being interested. I appreciate you watching, and I'll keep you posted.